You often hear information security industry experts talk about the importance of securing the network perimeter and public-facing web and mobile applications. Whether it's anti-malware technology, network access control, the list goes on and on. These kinds of controls are critical in keeping the bad guys out. What attackers are really after today is data, and the databases where that data is predominantly stored. Recently, I've had several articles published by news outlets around the world discussing the need for increased focus and investment in database security. Database security is still an untold story, and it's time to get the word out. When I talk to CISOs about their security controls, they tend to tell me all about their network perimeter protections. IT professionals make the mistake all the time. They assume if their networks and applications are protected, then so are their databases. That sounds logical, but it's wrong. The team at Trustwave has performed thousands of penetration tests and forensic investigations over the past few years. That work gives us the benefit of first-hand knowledge of how criminals take advantage of vulnerabilities and insecure configurations to compromise systems and steal data in the real world. Most of the time, databases are configured to allow username and password authentication. Knock on the door, guess the right name and password, and you're in. Freshly installed databases come with built-in users. They're there to get things started, to help get your applications up and running more quickly. The problem is that those built-in users have default passwords, and lists of those default accounts and passwords are easy to come by online. Making matters worse, applications that get installed on the databases tend to bring their own well-known default accounts and passwords as well. If a default account is left unchanged in the database, it's like locking your door when you leave for vacation but leaving your keys under the doormat. If somebody wants to break in, it's a trivial task. Next is the people problem. Our 2013 Trustwave Global Security Report reveals that across all the passwords we analyzed in 2012, the most commonly used was password 1. Weak passwords have long been a real problem for security teams. If someone uses a weak password to control access to one of the corporate databases, it makes it possible for an attacker to just guess that password, break into the database, and then be able to masquerade as that normal employee because they're using their credentials. It makes it easy for them to hide their tracks. Patching databases is also challenging. On average, it takes about 9 months to get a database patch into production, giving an attacker ample time to strike. The planning, coordination, and testing it takes to see if a patch works with an application and then get it into production creates this window of exposure that a criminal with only basic search engine and cut and pasting skills can exploit. One more weakness we see with databases is the way their security settings are configured. Modern databases have a formidable set of security features and controls. However, we often see databases that are misconfigured. The security features are disabled and access controls are out of control. So here's what you can do to improve the security of your databases and protect your organization's sensitive data. Get started by performing a risk assessment to locate all your databases, determine which ones contain sensitive data, which are accessed by internet-facing applications, and then run automated scans to uncover potential vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. Next, have professionals penetration test your most critical networks, applications, and databases to get a full understanding of what an attacker can achieve by exploiting your security weaknesses. Use this information to drive deployment of protective measures to close the gaps. I recommend using web application firewalls to eliminate weaknesses in the application layer that expose databases to attacks. You should also install technology that limits access rights on networks, applications, and databases so that only those who need access get it. If you find that your in-house IT team does not have enough manpower or the right skill set to install, monitor, fine-tune, and manage all of these security controls, I suggest augmenting your staff with an outside team of experts whose sole responsibility is to help ensure everything in your security plan is up to date and working properly. Effective security really requires a layered approach. You need to protect your networks, applications, and your databases to have effective security. And if you've done it right, you're going to thwart the attacker's attempts to break in, and you're going to send them off looking for a softer, easier target to attack.